I'm really pleased to be here, and let's do the best job we can.
Yeah. I am
Oh,
Paul from Rotherham. I've known Dean and Ryan a very, very long time. Happy to have some interesting talks.
Yeah, I mean tonight we're gonna well, it's a proper night for us to have a good chat roll, as we mentioned last week. I mean, obviously, I think the main topic, which I think people want to hear about, since it's the most relevant, is the whole COVID-19 situation. So, Ryan, what's your COVID situation like with obviously work and everything like that? Well,
Definitely. I think COVID-19 is affecting a lot of people in terms of work at the moment. Obviously, with lockdown, a lot of people aren't able to go to work and do day-to-day things. I myself, I work abroad for a company that works for TUI, and because of lockdown, sort of anybody who works for this company has not been able to go and go to work. Um, and a lot of us are self-employed as well, so we're not even getting furloughed from this company, so we're
Ryan, are you
losing.
sure we're live?
Yeah, we should be.
I'm on Twitch now. We're not live.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we
Tell a
are.
lie. Yeah, we are.
Come on, Dino.
Sorry about
Have a
that.
little faith. Have a little
I
faith.
was a bit delayed.
Yeah, it'll be delayed. It's like 4 or 5 seconds behind, I think. It might be more.
Yeah, sorry.
Actually.
Go on. So yeah. A lot of you work freelance, don't you?
Yeah, so we're self-employed for this company, so we're not even furloughed, so we're not getting any salary, any bonuses from this. So we're just out of work at the moment. We should have flown out in April, and here we are in June. So yeah, so as I say, it's affecting a lot of people at the moment, and I'm sure that a lot of people are eager to get back to work and get back to normal lives. Um,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
appreciate
obviously, I
a
know
lot of
there's only
people who are
so much you
working
can
as well.
tell us. But have you heard anything about going back? I mean, obviously, working for TUI, such a big company. I mean, is there any kind of thing going around saying you might be going out or?
I mean, they obviously, as a big company as they are, they're looking to push going out as soon as they can because they're a big company and they're losing money at the moment. They're losing holidays, aren't they? So they're
Yeah.
trying to push it. At the moment, they're sort of saying they hope to be by the middle of July, by the 15th, starting flights up again. But they suspect it won't be till after that because a lot of people aren't going to want to go on holidays because a lot of the countries they fly to won't be cleared by then. So it's a big issue for TUI as a company to make sure they don't lose too much money and end up having to forfeit in the long run as a company. It's also a
I'm
big
sure I saw
risk for
something
staff
in the
as well.
news as well. If you go on holiday, you've got to self-isolate for 2 weeks when you get back, ain't you?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the big thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Unless we do like what's it called? It's a flight gate or a flight bridge or something like that. I think some
Right.
companies are looking at doing that. I think France in particular, they're looking at doing a flight bridge with us, which means we won't have to do that. But a lot of the countries, otherwise, yeah, if you go on holiday, when you come back to the UK, you will have to be quarantined for 14
So
days.
your week holiday will turn into a 3-week holiday.
Exactly. And that's why TUI are predicting that nobody will go on these holidays, even if they open in July, because people won't want to isolate when they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my family were supposed to go to Spain in August, and obviously they've pushed it back to May half term next year now because of the fact that they didn't want to go on holiday and then have to self isolate for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is, like you said, Ryan, it's the main big point that that's why people don't want to go on these holidays. And it's a shame to see the flight companies losing the money that they are.
Yeah, especially package holidays as well. They're the ones that are going to be hit the worst, aren't they?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And family holidays as well. Like, if they're not going to be wanting to taking their kids to a country that's possibly risky, or older people. Like, if people are going with their older parents, it's a big risk. So people aren't going to want to be going on these package holidays.
Yeah. Yes, Alex. I mean, obviously, you work in the teach or you work in education, don't you?
Yeah.
So what's it like for you down there for the whole COVID situation?
It's different. It's it's very strange and it's very surreal. Obviously, the year that I used to work, I was working with before, haven't gone back because I was working with year 3 and 4. So at the moment, I'm working with reception, and we've had to fit. We've obviously had to oblige by the 2 meter rule. So we've had to go around with 2 meter rules and measure out all the desks from each other and everything. And we've had to take down all the display boards. The whole room is completely bare. They're not allowed to play with any Lego. We're not allowed to have teddies. They're not allowed to have anything. They're not even allowed to bring their book bag in to school. It's in a teacher's point of view. I think that it was too early to send them back, full stop. And the reason why they sent them back, well, one of the reasons why they sent them back was because of the mental health. But you've got to look at it both ways. Yeah, like the kids are happy to be back because they're seeing their friends and they're socialising and.
Are there social distancing though? Like especially
so,
like breaks,
so basically,
lunches.
What we've done is we've got reception in their own little area, and then we've got year 1 in their own little area, and year 6 in their own little area. So we can't mix the year groups up. So they're staying in their own little pods. They're having lunch together, and like us as staff, we're not allowed to eat with each other. We've got to stay in our own little pods, and we're checking temperatures as they come in, and we're sanitizing our hands and all sorts. And like I was saying before about the mental health, you've got to think about what effect would that have on them. You know, coming in and seeing the whole classroom completely different, and you know, everything's changing and everything. You know, it's like most schools have been, you know, recorded a video and sent it home, and said this is what's different now, and whatever. I mean, that's what we've done, but it's on a whole, it's very different, and it seems to be working at the moment, but. Obviously, we've got to see if there's going to be another spike of it, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well, you've got to look. I mean, you look at it from both perspectives of kids going back. I mean, the people I work with, obviously, a lot of them have children.
Yeah.
Who are at school age that should be at school and they're not, and for them, you know, they're back at work now.
Yes. That is a very good point. You've got to look at it from the childcare side of view as well. And obviously, like you just said, you've got families, you've got colleagues that have got families and everything that need home educating at the moment. So, yeah, I completely agree with that point of view, that point being, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be able to think if, you know, when both sides of your family's working, your mother and your father, you know, you can't leave your kid on its own, can you? So
No.
you have to then take a sacrifice to your own family.
Yeah.
To be, you know, I can see how that could be a very shit place to be.
Yes, yeah, I can see that as well. And I mean, it's nice to be back. It's nice to be doing something, and it's obviously nice to see all the kids and whatever. But like, we can't. It's hard because you can't mingle with them. And but hey ho, we've got to do what we've got to do at the end of the day, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. Paul, Ryan, you got anything to add into that?
No, I think that's yeah. I agree with what you say completely. It's just a very difficult situation, isn't it? In general, I just hope that we can all get through it fairly unscathed and come out the other side.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I mean, you obviously spend quite a lot of time online. If you noticed a difference online on the Xbox, you know, with more people being at home, you know, do you see a difference with the games you play with the, you know, the people you're meeting online, stuff like that? Do you see any difference? Or
No, not really. Because There's always been a tight community that don't really go out anyway, so not really changed.
Yeah.
Everyone's got more time to do more stuff.
I think the main problem for me is the internet is just, especially with Virgin, it is just up and down and everywhere.
Yeah,
Not bad.
I've noticed a little bit.
It's alright, but it's for a better cause, isn't it? It's not like
Oh, yeah.
it's been for worse. So at least you've got more time to do what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's a very good point. I mean, I think if COVID's done one thing, it's made us spend more time with the people you care about, and want to be able to talk and keep in contact, and
It makes you more
you know,
aware as well of the people
Yeah.
that are in your life and the people that you're not in contact with at the moment as well.
yeah, when you haven't seen certain members of your family for going on 3+ months, or your friend group, like for us, I mean, we haven't seen each other in
Yeah,
a long
yeah.
time now. It does have its toll. I don't think anybody out there could say that they haven't been affected by this. I think it's something that will change the world for what it was.
Definitely. I'll just do a quick shout out. Thank you to Haley and Beth for their follows as well.
Oh, sound. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Good lads.
Every little helps.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, this kind of takes us on to his next subject. I mean, obviously, Alex, you're a Premier League fan. You know a lot about football, a lot more than any of us. You're into Premier League football. Me and myself, I'm into my Championship football. Paul, slightly into your League One football with Rotherham. I don't know how much you watch of it now, but obviously, in all three different aspects of the leagues, there's three completely different sets of rules, as you'll know. I'm guessing now.
Yeah. It's very different in all three leagues. Obviously, the League One being cancelled and finishing where the teams were.
Rotherham United going up to the Championship.
Rotherham
Yeah,
going
I
up.
heard
Rotherham going up along with Coventry, and Pompey, Wickham, and I can't remember the other two in the playoffs. Obviously, I'm not too familiar with the Championship now that Villa got promoted because I don't associate with that.
Well, I know it's not too far off from what the Premier
No.
League's doing. It's just all our matches aren't being televised. We're
Yeah.
getting a select few televised around the Premier League.
Yeah,
and
I
we're
saw.
playing the season now.
Yeah, I saw that Stoke and Leeds are obviously being televised on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the Premier League, all the games are being televised, and they've been really good with the fact that because I know Villa have for season ticket holders, because they haven't reimbursed the money, they've paid for their Sky Sports passes to watch the games.
That's a good idea.
But I know other clubs have reimbursed the whole all the season ticket holders.
Wow.
I think Sheffield United was one of the clubs that did it.
Wow.
But it's good that it's coming back.
You think it's too early? I know it's behind closed doors, but when you look in the news, I think there's 9 players from the Premier League that have come back positive with results.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's about 7 in the Championship that have come back positive.
Yeah, I think the fact, like, I read on Sky Sports News this morning that 2 Norwich City players have been contacted with it now, and they're due to play on Friday against. I think it's Spurs. I'm not quite sure, but and they're looking at what. So Norwich are now without them 2 players, and I think they're quite key players.
Right.
So they've obviously had to self-isolate now. But in a way, it's good it's back, but I do think it's a little bit too early.
But surely that's doing good for the sport, getting the players tested, getting them healthy and safe. Because
Yeah.
they're only going to need to be tested once. Well, they're only going to come positive once, aren't they?
And
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
still
you're
Yeah.
right.
behind closed doors, they're not going to catch it, really.
Yeah, I mean they're saying they're not going to even start thinking about putting crowds back in until next season, are they? And even then, it might be a reduced crowd. I think from what I've heard.
Well, I saw the I can't think what it is. The derby in Budapest took place a couple of weeks ago, and they only opened up the bottom tier of the stadium. And I can't remember what they did. They did it in like sections, so they had fans, number of fans in one little section, and then a gap, and then a number of fans in another little section, and did it like that. So they were all
Right.
spread out.
Right.
So I'm not sure if the English football are going to take
Well,
that
I have
idea.
got talking about crowds and football. I have got something. If you want to go check it out, it is amazing. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but in Japan they've started back behind closed doors, and you might know what I'm going to say, but because they're not allowed supporters in, they wanted the stadiums to look full, so they're
Yeah.
using sex dolls to
I know,
fill the
that's brilliant.
stadiums.
Fill out the
That is
stadium. That's a really
brilliant.
interesting idea.
That is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, certainly one way of doing it, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Who's paying for all
I
of
saw-
them? That's what I want to know.
Well, exactly. Someone's bank accounts look dodgy as fuck.
I saw. It's the same in that, like, you've got the Bundesliga that obviously went back a couple of weeks ago now, and Mönchengladbach obviously had the same idea, but they got all their supporters to sending a photo of their faces, and they put it on each seat in the stadium.
So it's just a load of
And
pieces.
they've raised a lot of money for the local hospitals out there fighting with COVID through it. So, I mean, that's one way of filling your stadium up, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Yeah.
But I particularly like the sex dolls one. I think that's bloody brilliant.
Yeah, can you just
Yeah,
imagine
that's,
go? What's the first match? Is it Villa United? Is that the first match that's been broadcast?
Yeah, Villa Sheffield United.
Can you just imagine Villa Park full of sex dolls? I mean, a lot of sex dolls.
Well, to be fair, we've got a lot of sex shops in Aston.
I'd love to see it. I really would. I mean, it's light-hearted, isn't it? At the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think that's holidays. Football. I think all sports in general. I mean, obviously ice hockey. The season got cancelled early. End of all the international players went home. And obviously we're looking on to next season now. Hopefully we should be starting on time. But again, we don't even know if it's going to be behind closed doors or reduced crowds. We've no idea. But I think this is the problem with what's going on for the whole COVID-19 situation is I don't think anybody actually knows what's happening. And, yeah, the government have got a lot on their hands, and I understand that I would not like to be in their situation. I would not want to be in Boris's situation for all this, but I feel like the way certain things have been done could have been done a lot better. I don't know what you guys think to that. I know we're all quite different, politically minded.
I think we should have acted a lot earlier.
Oh god, yeah.
100%.
I totally
Go
agree.
straight on lockdown like they did in China.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's something else in China as well. They've just had a second spike as well, haven't
I've
they?
had more
That's
cases.
shut.
Yeah, I've heard.
They've shut the
I
food
think
market.
as well, as you were saying about Boris, I do agree that he could have done things differently and probably should have done things differently. But fair play to him in his position. He's under a lot of pressure.
Oh God, yeah.
He hasn't been in office that long.
Yeah,
really, and
compared
he's
to how some countries have handled it.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't been in office that long, and he's come straight up head on with it, and he has tackled it.
And Brexit, don't forget Brexit before all this as well. We really want to get into it.
And he really has had it in the neck, to be fair. So fair play to him, I guess, for plodding on with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
But-
like I said, we all come from different political backgrounds, and like if me and Paul sat down and talked about politics, we'd have two completely different mindsets. Same with Ryan or Alex.
Yeah, definitely.
So, But I think we can kind of all agree that what's happened has not been the best, but it's far from the worst. I don't know. If any of you disagree with me, please shout out.
No, I totally agree with you, Dean. I totally agree with everyone. I think we should have gone in a lot sooner than we did. I mean, we went. What day did we go in? Like the 23rd of March or something like that.
Yeah, it was the day before my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, just think of.
Can I have it?
just think of where we would be right now if we went in on the 13th. You know, we wouldn't have. Well, the economic situation would be a little bit better than it is now, but
it's like that's why they're opening shops on Monday, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's to get people spending money. That's the only thing I can see, anyways. Why would you open a load of shops when you know everyone, especially in Meadow Hall or shopping centres that are indoors? Owning them back up, I think, is, you know.
I think I can see why he's doing it, because obviously the economy is going to suffer massively the longer stuff is shut. Like, there's a lot of businesses that will already have fallen under. And won't be able to.
Like we're talking about package holidays, you know, there's a lot of package holidays companies that have gone already.
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
coach holidays,
big
stuff
companies that are surviving. So the sooner the economy opens back up, the better. Which is, I think, why he's doing it. And obviously, from there, his kind of perspective from his party, that's what they're about, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I do agree, we still need to keep it safe and.
Yeah. It's like I don't know if many of you guys have been around the big cities recently, but obviously, part of my job, I spend a lot of time around Sheffield, seeing what's happening for social distancing. And at the moment, with all the shops opening on Monday, there is absolutely chaos in the city centre of Sheffield. There's roads that are being shut left, right, and centre to help social distancing. There's roadworks going on everywhere to help social distancing. There's markers going down everywhere to help social. You get where I'm going? It just
a lot of work.
Chaos.
A lot of work has been put into it. I mean, obviously, I don't have that situation around here because I live in the middle of a field. But like I mean, I've been over and seen my girlfriend over in Brum, and it's
Birmingham,
like
21 that don't understand.
Yeah, in Birmingham, and I mean, it's the same. It's absolutely chaos. I mean, and they've got that new railway coming in, so that's still going ahead, and it's like just complete roads shut off here, there, and everywhere, and you can't go down a certain street, and you can't. And I mean, at the end of the day, they're doing their best to to keep everyone safe at the end of the day, but it is absolute chaos.
Yeah, I think that's happening in a lot of places as well. I know I went last week. I went with my dad to help him at work because he's got a big contract at a university before they open up. They plan to open up next week, and
oh wow,
only one of their buildings just to trial it and see how it goes. But they've had to put stickers, like 2 meter space stickers, all around the building. They've had to do one-way systems where the corridors aren't wide enough. All kinds of nonsense, and especially with stuff going on now, they're on about reducing it to 1 meter. They've now got to change all those stickers, all that work that's gone in. And it's going to change anyway.
You don't have to change them really. They just have to stick another one in between them.
Well, yeah, except we noticed they've got 2 meters written on them.
It'll just be halfway 2 meters on, halfway 1 meters on. You know?
Yeah,
so get it.
It's not a massive deal.
I don't know how that's going to work.
Looking at the chat, by the way, is anybody rocking the lockdown haircut yet? I've refused to have my haircut. I haven't done it yet. I'm waiting until barber's open.
Yeah, Ben said she needs to shave your head. I've had mine done. I've got a bit of an army cut now, which is a bit annoying. You can barely hear me. Are you sure? It looks like we've got fairly decent levels coming out.
Yeah, we do have pretty decent all around.
Paul, are you rocking the lockdown haircut yet? Have you took the ball?
No, I'm rocking the look. Yeah, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm hoping July. Beginning of July, they're opening barbers up. it goes
Yeah,
past
it's
July, I'm
really-
gonna have to shave it.
Yeah, I got to that point. It was just too long. It was getting in the way, so I had
So,
to get it done. Got Mum to do it.
Right,
Around it all-
Alex,
hello.
you wanted to talk about Donald. Good old Donald
Oh,
Trump.
big,
Yeah, we might
big
as well
man
sit back
Donald.
at
I'm
man
sure
Donald.
everybody's got somebody to say about that.
him.
Here
If
we
you have,
go.
please comment down below. We'll try and involve you in this, because
Yeah, if you've got any
I feel like we're
comments,
opening a
just,
can of worms.
yeah, just pop up in chat and we'll address any things you have to say.
Right. So, big man Donald is a massive pussy.
Reason
I
being,
mean,
Yeah, back
he
your
does
point
look
up.
like. Have you seen that photo that's going around of him getting a spray tan?
No, I
haven't
don't
seen
think
Oh,
I have.
I'm gonna have to try and find it. But I mean, at the moment, like with everything that's going on during the Black Lives Matter protest and whatever, it is a terrible situation to be in over there. But I feel that
I feel he's handling it very well.
he's handling it very well.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
how do you think
controversial.
that?
This is very
That is
controversial.
very controversial. I think,
But
to
go
be
on.
fair to him, he has handled it where he's just dived in and been very decisive, which I think is
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
for a leader to do. He's been very
Yeah.
decisive. He's decided what he wants, how he's going to do it, and he's just done it. Which I think is
But
what
bring it
Boris has
bang,
done as
boss.
well, to an extent. Boris has been very sort of just jumping straight in with it. But I do agree, some of his decisions might have been the wrong ones.
Questionable.
I mean,
Questionable, yes.
at the end of the day, I mean, some look at him as like a really good leader, some don't, obviously. But he needs to watch what he's saying on social media
I think
Yeah,
that's the
watch your
problem with
back,
Donald
boy.
Trump.
a lot.
Like,
You know.
he treats America like a business, which is good in
Yeah.
a sense. They're clearing the bills off, blah 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 blah. But Donald Trump on Twitter
And at the
is not.
expense of who as well?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, what did he declare martial law? Did that happen?
I don't know.
With
I
the
can't
army?
remember.
I don't know. I do know this as well, though. Obviously we have furlough in this country, so
Yes.
people who are employed get 80% paid by the government. They've done none
Yeah.
of that over there. So anybody who is now out of a job has been
They're
out
out
of a
of a job.
job and out of money completely.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
but
It will leave a lot of people homeless and struggling
They-
for food.
But with America's lockdown, they've hardly been on lockdown. Like they don't like with us. Obviously, we were stuck in houses for like a month and a half. They still had all the freedom to go and do things. Obviously, some shops were shut. They could go and see family. Like their only thing they had to do was wear a face mask.
Yeah, I think it's partly for that reason though as well, because if people were refusing to not stay at home, because
Well,
they
you
can't
remember
work.
the protest, don't you? The people are having of, you can't force us to go into lockdown.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff,
Because they can't afford to not work. If they're not getting
Yeah.
any money from the government, they literally can't afford to live
Yeah,
unless
Yeah.
they go to work.
fair dues.
Which, yeah, is fair enough on the people's behalf, I guess. But I don't know what else. I guess Trump could have gone the direction we have and offered some government support. But then again, the USA is a huge country, so whether they
Well,
can
yeah,
offer
I mean-
that kind of support, I don't know.
The USA is completely different setup to us, isn't it? Like, we have the NHS, which is free healthcare. We have, the police force, which is, paid for by tax, stuff like that, which I know America is as well. But they are very different. They're brought up a lot differently to how we are over here.
Oh yeah,
I think it's safe to say.
100%.
So they're, they're used to dealing with different things to us, which I get. But yeah. But yeah, right now, do you want to quickly talk about Black Lives Matter? We're going to leave this to you to talk about. We're not going to,
We're going to try not to
push
voice
this.
too many opinions.
Well,
Obviously, everybody has
yeah.
their own opinions. Before I do, I just want to do a quick shout out to Livix in chat. She's just started hosting us as well, so thank you for that. Okay, so on with the protests and Black Lives Matter stories that you're hearing on the news at the moment. Um, I think it's probably first thing to say is obviously it is true. Black lives do matter. I think it's also important to note that everybody's life matters, in the sense that it doesn't matter who this could have happened to. It would still be important. I don't think this should happen to anybody. The cops shouldn't treat people the way they did. They should definitely handle things differently. But I do also think that the way the protests are going at the moment, they are turning. I say this in general, but not all. There are some protests and protesters that are being violent. They are causing destruction of property in the streets. They're throwing. I've heard that some of them are throwing bricks at police officers now as well, police cars and stuff like that, which isn't on, in my opinion. I think violence is not the answer. That's not going to solve anything. I do agree that things possibly need to change, and that everybody should be treated as equal. Everybody does matter. It just shouldn't happen. As simple as that. And I think that people are labelling all the police for this issue as well, whereas it's not. It's one bad cop, and the whole police force are getting labelled for that issue. Which I don't know what more I can say on that really. I think just because one bad cop did one bad thing to one person, I don't think all police officers should now be assumed that, like, that's why they're throwing bricks and harassing police officers, because they're just pigeonholing the whole group to be like that, which isn't the way it is. I don't know whether any of you have got any other views on that kind of matter.
Like I said, I was just gonna leave it for you to talk about it, because I think out of always you are the most politically correct.
It's a very
So,
difficult
yeah,
one, really, isn't it? To
it
not
is.
voice
It's
your
a
opinion, because obviously we all have different opinions.
yeah. Everybody will have their own opinion. I don't think anybody's opinion is 100% correct on the matter, apart from the family that got affected by it.
Definitely.
But yeah, we just felt like we had to say something from the four of us, because we don't want to say that what happened is right or wrong. We just wanted to go. We understand what's happening. It's shit what's happened,
And
but it's not our
thoughts
place.
go to the family as well.
Yeah,
In
it's
this
not our place to
difficult situation.
have an argument about it.
Definitely.
But yeah, anyways, what else has happened in this news? PS5 has been announced. Obviously, Series X has been announced, but the PS5 has had its big press conference this week. Don't know if any of you have watched it. But it looks stupid. It's going to be extremely expensive. Feel free to add on.
Get a PC.
Get a PC. That's definitely the best advice.
I mean,
think
to
you
be
can
fair,
give.
Ryan, I've actually got something for you, because you've just built a PC. So let me get it up. Where are we? And it's actually it's the actual main, statistics of the PS5.
Are we going on to these teraflops again? Because I've got an argument ready. If we
No,
are.
right.
I've prepared myself for this.
I'm not going on to the Xbox Series X yet. We'll just get the PS5 over and done with, because I think it looks like a Virgin Media Wi-Fi router with some paper stuck around it. But yeah, so the
100%.
PlayStation 5. So the CPU,
Yep.
anyone that doesn't know, CPU is an 8-core, 3.5 gigahertz AMD Zen 2.
Absolute beauty.
Absolute beauty. Certainly is, my friend.
The GPU is a 10.3 teraflop AMD RDNA 2. If you can translate that into British, that'd be great, Ryan.
So this is where I believe it falls down slightly, and the same with the Xbox. In terms of graphics, they are very similar with what cards they're using and what performance they chuck out. But in comparison, again, we'll jump back to the PC thing. In comparison to a PC, I don't think for the money you can get as much performance out of an Xbox as you can from a PC graphics
Well,
card.
I think they're saying that the PlayStation 5 is gonna. There's two versions of it, isn't there? There's a shit version and the good version. And the good version's gonna be about £600-ish.
Yeah.
It's not been confirmed, but it's gonna be somewhere around there.
Yeah. I
Um,
didn't know that was the prices, but yeah.
right.
Sounds
So
right.
the memory, we're looking at 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM.
Okay, so 16 gigabytes is fairly solid amount of RAM. It could pretty much handle any game with that kind of RAM. For those of you that don't know, RAM is random access memory. It stores data for the games you're playing while it's playing so that it can access it quickly. So it's a lot faster, it's a lot more responsive to the data you need to access for the content of the game. So yeah, so the more you have of that, the more powerful games you can run and the more complex
Yeah, and
games you can
the
run at the
smoother
same
it'll run
data
it
rate.
at. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
So the SSD, which is the solid state drive, is running at 825 gigabytes custom.
What was that?
It's my partner. Because I left the door open. So yeah, the SSD is running at 825 gigabytes. It's a custom SSD. They're not saying exactly, but it's got 825 gigabytes.
Okay, and in comparison to the Xbox, I believe it's a terabyte, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
think so.
yeah,
They're
it is.
fairly
Yeah, I was gonna
close.
come over to that.
They're
Yeah,
fairly
I was
close in
gonna come back to the
size. And to be
Xbox
honest,
after we've talked about this stupid
that kind of
Wi-Fi
size,
router covered
like
in paper.
800 plus gig, is plenty. I know games are getting bigger by the day. Like some games can be up to like 100 gig or maybe even more. So, but still, that's enough games to get you going. And you
Oh
can
God,
obviously buy extra
yeah,
hard drives. You can uninstall
yeah.
games to install new ones and
I mean,
so on.
Paul, you've got an Xbox One at the moment, ain't you?
Yeah,
Is
I'm on it
yours the
right now.
is yours the 500 gig?
Yes.
And how many games do you have installed on that, including? Because obviously you've got Call of Duty, stuff like that, which are very big games.
Yeah, they're large games. Yeah.
Currently I have 500 meg. I have 92% taken up of my memory, so I have 27 gig left.
Okay. Yeah.
And how many games have you got in that?
7.
Seven. So
Okay, so
But
you have
yeah,
thanks to
7 games.
Uno.
yeah, you got to include Uno, obviously.
Yeah. So 7 games,
Um,
and obviously 800 and something gig is a lot more than the
yeah,
500 that he has. So I
yeah,
think for the moment that's plenty of storage to be going on with
yeah.
for the new model.
Resolution, it's got 8K support, but it's true 4K gaming, which is so it runs at 4K, but it can support 8K if enabled.
If any of you are brave enough to spend a lot of money on an 8K TV,
Yeah, about 3 grand plus on a 17-inch TV that'll do for 8K.
mad, absolutely mad.
But 4K, I mean, to be fair, nowadays you wouldn't notice the difference between HDR and 4K, anyways, because unless you are extremely close to your TV, it's impossible to tell.
Definitely. Yeah, I would question um, whether it's you're able to tell. Like definitely from 4K up to 8K, I really don't think you'd be able to tell. Even if
Yeah,
you had them next to each other, I think it would be
yeah.
questionable.
You get into such fine detail.
Yeah, exactly. And even on like especially on, I guess if it was a massive screen, you'd be able to tell the difference. But if you're only on a little monitor or a normal sized TV, I really don't think.
The thing is, obviously, you're on
It's
your
worth.
PC, and how big's your screen?
So my screens are 20 inches, I believe. I think
So
they're 20-inch screens, but
jumping from 4K to 8K or something like that, you're not going to tell.
you're not going to tell exactly. I mean, to be honest, most little monitors like this can't handle it anyway. Like my monitors can only handle. In fact, I don't even think it's quite 1080p either. It's just under 1080p, and it still looks high def. It still looks really good.
Yeah.
For gaming and stuff. So I don't think
Yeah.
it's really an issue about your displays.
Frame rate, you're running up to 120 FPS.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
not
kinda
native
nice.
120 FPS, it's up to 120 FPS.
Okay, I see. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I noticed a big difference in terms of frames when I switched from Xbox to PC.
Yeah.
Because on Xbox One, I believe it's 60 FPS, not 120. They've already upped it
Yes.
on the new model.
Yeah.
And I noticed the difference
If you
going
get
from
the
60
One X.
FPS up to I now play at 250 on Rocket League on my PC, and I've noticed a massive difference there. So even the jump up to 120, I think, for the new consoles will be a noticeable difference for gamers.
Yeah. So that's the main statistics. Now, Alex, you're not massively up on all this kind of stuff, but if someone turned around to you with all those details and said, "Would you pay 600-ish pounds for that?" Would you go out and buy it? Because you have a PS4, don't you?
I've got a PS4. Personally, no.
Why?
I
Why
wouldn't.
wouldn't you go spend your hard-earned money on a PS5?
Oh, in my eyes, I see a games console as something to enjoy. And if you're spending so much money on something when, like, if I went out and spent 600 odd quid on a games console, and because with my sort of lifestyle, I wouldn't play it as much. Where then on the other hand, you've got people that play it for professionally and whatever. But I mean, on the because I'm not all into like all the gigabytes and whatever you just said. So, but like, I mean, my cousin, he's got his, he wants to get one, and he's got a 4K TV, and he spent like, I think it was like 2.5, nearly £3,000 on it.
Wow.
So but I mean, if I was going to get one, I would wait 3-4 years for them to come down in price. I'm happy with my little PS4. I think it's a cracking console.
They do last a while as well, don't they? Like, even like I don't know when the PS4 was released, when you got yours, but it was a while ago, wasn't it? And they still last. They still play well. And I think I think the big difference between getting a console like a PS4, PS5, or Xbox, and getting a PC is the difference between a casual gamer, I guess. Like, if you're just a casual gamer, you need a console. You could just turn it on, load up your game, and play. You can just jump straight in, can't you? Whereas a PC, you've got to buy it, you've got to install it, you've got to get your screen set up, you've got to install Windows, install all your programs. There's a lot more involved to get it set up, but I think overall the quality is better slightly for that effort.
Well, before we get onto the Series X as well, something that I've just thought about is if any of you guys heard of Stadia.
The name rings a bell, although I can't.
It's so basically, if you go to Stadia, it's owned by Microsoft. It's a Microsoft company, but you get a remote. The remote gets sent out to you. You plug your remote into your TV or your phone or anything, and basically you broadcast the game to whatever screen you're using with your remote.
Oh yes, that was it. Yeah.
So you don't need a console. You literally just stream it from a server. You could pick it up and drop it off wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Alex, saying that obviously you're a casual gamer, aren't you? Would you think about possibly going from that? So you have a controller with you. Say you're on your lunch break, you could literally just take your controller out, plug your phone into it, and play on your phone for half an hour. And then when you get home, pick that game up when you get home on your TV. Is that something that would change you from going from a PS4 or a PS5 to something like that?
Probably.
I know it's not been very popular, Stadia, since it came out, from what I've gathered.
It would, yes. I think it's a nifty little device, little device, like I think it's like you said, you can easily take it around and you can plug it into whatever you want. I think it is a shame that people haven't noticed it more and it hasn't been very popular because
I think the problem is the titles.
I think you've got to watch what the games are on it, and also maybe like obviously because it's streaming off a server, if your internet's crap, you wouldn't be able to do it as much. But
Yeah, I think that would be a big issue for me if I were going to look into
Yeah.
playing. It would be the connection. Yeah, you might well be at work, have 5 minutes at lunchtime and be able to pull it out, but if the internet connection at work is no good, you're not going to be able to play these, especially with
No.
high quality games now that like COD or and stuff like that, or racing games that use a lot of data, high end graphics.
I think that's why when you look at Stadia's game base, you don't have any of those massive AAA titles on there, because you've got to stream that to a phone or
yeah,
an iPad or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So do they not? So what sort of games do they? So they don't do things like
Well,
COD and
I'll
stuff,
get it
it's
up.
only lower end games.
I'll get it up.
I haven't really read too much into it, to be honest. I haven't actually looked in detail.
I'll get it up and have a. You guys just chat amongst yourselves about Stadia for 2 seconds while I get this up.
You don't have to wait for games to download on Stadia as well. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So because you're streaming them live from the server, so they run directly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like when what I do sometimes on certain games, if I've got it on my Xbox and not my PC, I open the game on my Xbox and then share my
Yeah.
screen to my PC, so I can play on
Yeah.
my PC with my controller plugged in, but I'm sharing my screen from my Xbox. So my Xbox is running the game, and I'm just looking at the screen. So it's kind of the same
Right.
kind of principle, I think. You're just
So-
looking at the screen on some server somewhere.
Games on Stadia. Obviously, I will say this: you still have to buy the games. The games aren't free, so you'll buy your controller, and then once you get your controller, you'll buy your games. Same as an Xbox. And at the moment, your controller's £119 to buy,
Mhm.
which compared to when the Series X drops and the PS5, it's a quarter of the price
Yeah,
at least.
So there's no subscription. It's
So-
just a one-time fee.
Yeah.
For the device, and then
You just
you
buy
play
what
the
game you want.
games as you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
So you've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, quite a big
Okay.
game.
sense. Yeah. Okay.
Fair play. You got Attack on Titan 2, again another quite big game. You got Borderlands 3, Darksiders Genesis, Destiny 2, Doom Eternal,
Okay. So there's a few decent graphic game
Final
games here.
Fantasy 15, Grid, Ghost Recon, Metro, Mortal Kombat 11. You got a few EA games on there. You got Red Dead 2, Tomb Raider, NBA 2K20. You got The Crew 2. That's quite a big game when it came out. Wolfenstein, Division 2, Tomb Raider. So, and it is constantly added. You look at what's coming to it. I mean, you've got Cyberpunk 2077 coming to Stadia, which when that got announced at E3, is one of the major games coming out this year, which I will be playing when it comes out. So I'm going to try and get that on the channel when it comes out. But yeah, it's a very overly rated game. So that could be. They are getting bigger games by the looks of it. You've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is coming to it. You got Marvel Avengers, well, you're not because it's been scrapped, but that should have been coming to it. You got Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, that's a
You got-
massive game.
Yeah. You've got Watch Dogs Legions, which again another big game. So there is always stuff being added. I think the only problem is there's going to be no second-hand game market, is there, for it? It's not like you can go down to your local CEX store and think I'll buy a game for a tenner.
This is
Yeah,
what
they're all gonna be new.
this is what the PS5 is going to do, because aren't they releasing a disc console and a digital console?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. When I was saying there's two consoles coming out, yeah. But the discless console is going to have a 2 terabyte hard drive, whereas the disc console's only got 800 and how much I said
That makes sense.
825 gig.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense
Stuff.
because obviously if you're downloading games only, the
Takes up
game's
a
going
lot
to be
more.
cheaper. Like if you've got to buy a disc, the games are more expensive generally. If you buy a new
Yeah.
game on Amazon, it's going to cost you a lot more than a digital copy from this relative store. So I
Yeah.
guess that's
I
why
mean-
you're going to be having more games, so you're going to need more space.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't tell you the price of the games either, as well. I will say that on the Stadia website.
I guess it'll
Um,
vary for the game because it'll be done by the developers that are allowing it to be on Stadia.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the controller does look nice as well. I don't know if you've seen the Stadia controller. It looks a bit like an Xbox controller.
okay,
Well, it's like a mixture of the Xbox and a PS4 controller.
might have a
But
quick look. See what I can
it's
find.
nice enough.
Stadia
Yeah.
controller. Okay, yeah. Yeah,
You
it's
see
kind
what
of
I
a
mean? It's
mixture,
kind
isn't
of,
it? Yeah.
it's a mixture of both. But yeah, I mean, you never know. One day, might get his hands on it, and I'll give you guys a review of it. I don't know.
Never
We'll
know.
see, because I'm not paying. Well, I wouldn't pay £119 right now,
Yeah,
but
plus
you
your
never know.
games as well.
Plus the games, yeah. But I like the idea of being able to pick it up on your phone, on your tablet, on your. So like, say you're at home, you're on your TV, you've got a flight, or whatever. You can just take it with you, pick it up on your phone while you're on flight, just play it on flight, and pick it up exactly where you left off. You know what I mean? It's
Definitely, yeah, that's a nice little feature.
yeah,
And it could go across your devices as well, like you said. So, it, a lot of issues people have nowadays, if they switch it, like I've had it recently, I've switched from Xbox to PC. All my progress on some games and all my data, all my items, all of that's lost. Whereas if you've got
yeah.
one account, one game that across all your devices, it's always going to be there and constantly up to date, which is a nice
Yeah.
little feature.
Yeah, so that's Stadia. Weren't even going to talk about that, but I thought, it,
Nice little
why not?
side topic. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Now we'll jump onto the big boy, which I have pre-ordered. Spoiler alerts. Well, I've got my pre-order in. I've not paid any money for it. I have got my interest in it because I'm an Xbox nerd. Is the Series X. Now, me and Ryan, behind all this, have been having a little bit of a debate because Xbox has obviously come out and said it's going to be as fast as gaming PCs, going to be as powerful as gaming PCs.
And obviously, I'm right behind all of this. Just to put that
But,
out there to the chat.
to be
We can have a
fair,
little debate in chat if you want a little
to
vote.
be fair, Microsoft, they do well when it comes to gaming. Like I said, obviously Microsoft owns Stadia as well as Xbox, so hence why you'll get a lot of links between them. But I think the Series X is definitely a big jump for gamers. I think the Xbox One series was it wasn't really for the gamers. It was more of a household machine where you can plug your Virgin TV into it and have your TV running through your Xbox. Why a gamer would want that, I don't know, but some of you out there will want that, and fair play to you. They enabled it, it worked. Whereas with the Series X, I feel like they have just gone all out. We want to give people a proper gaming experience on a proper console. And I think you've got to agree with me on that.
Yeah, I guess to a point. I think it definitely competes. It's definitely a big competition for PlayStation, and it does compete with some PCs. However, and I think at the moment this is the biggest thing because it's brand new. The price they charge. So what is the Xbox listed at?
Well,
As
they're
the start
saying
price?
£600-ish. Again, same as the PS5. We
600.
don't know for definite. It's
So
just
for £600, you could build a fairly solid PC, right? So for me, that's where my train of thinking comes from, is because the cost of it. Yes, you're getting a brand new Xbox, but for the same price, a brand new PC, you could have a solid PC which is going to last you a lot longer than the Xbox. It's probably going to be similar specs, if not higher specs, than the Xbox.
yeah. I
And
mean,
obviously
obviously,
it
I've
is a
got
PC as well,
both.
so there's more stuff
Yeah.
you can do with it.
You can customize it, can't you?
Yeah,
Which
you can
I'll
stream
agree with you on that.
properly, you can do all of that.
In 2 years' time, yeah,
Yeah, there's going to be a new
you can
Xbox, and it's going
you
to be
can
outdated.
change your PC about. You can you don't have to go out and buy a new PC every 2 years.
Yeah, definitely.
is,
And
you know-
in terms of the storage thing, which we were talking about not that long ago, if I run out of space, which is unlikely because I've got a massive hard drive, but if I run out of space and my hard drive's full, I just buy another hard drive, plug it in, and it's integrated into the PC, it's inside the case, all nice and neat. Whereas with Xbox, if you need more storage, yes, you can buy a drive, but it can't go inside the case. You have to have it sat on top. Little features
Yeah.
like that. It's more customizable for the
Yeah,
user.
but
so-
I mean, this is another argument which I didn't even think about. Like, you look at someone like Alex. you know, Alex, would you be able to go out and build a PC?
No, I would not have a Scooby.
I've
So
got to be
you've got to
honest, I
think
did
if
have to do a
Alex,
lot of research to
if
even do
Alex went
mine.
out and wanted a gaming PC for the same specs as the Series X, and I've actually searched this on PC Specialist because I have a PC Specialist PC. So I thought I'd run it through and see how much it'd cost. If they built you one, it's pretty much the same specs as the Series X. Do you know how much it would cost?
Yeah, but that's true. That's because you're getting somebody to do it for you, I guess.
Exactly. I
I
mean,
guess
for
that's
someone
the
like
thing.
Alex, if he just wants a console he can pick up and go.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was saying about the casual gamer. Like I said, if you're just looking for a console that you can plug it in, it works. You haven't got to set it up in any way. You just plug it in, turn it on, and it works. You can play your favorite games then and there. That's
Yeah.
perfect and portable as well, I guess, to a point. Like Xbox and
Well,
PlayStation are fairly portable.
I mean, the new PS5 and the Xbox Series X are huge compared to their predecessors.
Oh, are they
They are
really?
taking
Okay.
they're taking completely different aspects because they're going with they've got to be cooled better because there's a lot more power running through them. Like that's why the Xbox One X is like a cylinder kind of shape 'cause it sucks air in from the bottom, pushes it out up the top. Um, and the PS5 is a little bit like that, hence why it's got to be stood up. You can't lay it down. Um, it's exactly the same. It's cooling. It's the cooling system of it. But yeah, I'll go through the Series X, and you can compare this directly to your PC because I know we've already spoke about this. So the CPU is the exact same as the PS5. It's an 8-core, 3.8 gigahertz. Oh, no, sorry, it's slightly bigger than the PS5. PS5 is a 3.5 gigahertz. The Series X is a 3.8 gigahertz. AMD Zen 2.
Mhm.
The GPU, PS5 is a 10.3 teraflop. The Series X is a 12 teraflop AMD RDNA 2 GPU.
For those who don't know what teraflops are, which all truth, we all had to Google. It's basically a measurement of how many.
Not me, I lecture.
Yeah, yeah, I like this one. It's essentially how to measure the amount of instructions and computing power a GPU has. So it basically does the amount of cores times the speed times the amount of execution units that GPU has, and that gives it its value in teraflops. But that's it's just a
Well,
value of
in
comparison,
comparison, Ryan, how many teraflops does your PC have?
basically. So my gaming PC has, I believe the graphics card has 8 or 9 teraflops, and then I believe the CPU itself has another 5 or 6 on top of that. So
Right,
what's that? 9 plus 6, 15, about 15 in
right,
total. And mine was a sort of low to mid-range
yeah,
gaming PC.
yeah.
It was
Memory,
it was a little bit more than the Xbox.
I think you're running 16 gig of memory, aren't you, on your PC?
I am, yes. 16
Yeah.
gig of RAM.
Series X and the PS5 again, running exactly the same 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM. SSD, that comes as standard with 1 terabyte custom NVMe. No idea what that stands for, but it comes with a terabyte hard drive. I believe it can be, again, it can be all edited. You will be able to buy a bigger one. Don't know how much it'll cost you for the bigger one, but I believe Microsoft is going to offer it with a 2 terabyte as well. Easily add another £100 onto that, an extra terabyte, and the rest.
Definitely.
Resolution, true 4K gaming again with 8K support. Frame rate, exactly the same as PS5, up to 120 FPS. And they're obviously both been released about the same date. So I'd say the Series X is definitely more powerful than the PS5, not by much, but it's a more powerful console.
Yeah, it has slightly higher graphics, and a slightly faster CPU as well, I believe, isn't it? So, but again, not by much. So, fairly similar consoles, all in all, I guess.
But yeah, but I mean, Paul, you're on the Xbox side of things. If someone put £600 in your pocket, would you go out and buy a Series X?
No.
Would
Do
you
you want
buy
to
a
back that
PC?
reason?
Would you buy a PC?
No.
Oh, thought I was going to win the argument then and there.
Adam as well. Boo PS4. Get a PC. You're very right. Boo PS4. I mean, if you want to get a PC, feel free. That's completely up to you. And
You're
I
being
knew
kind
Adam
with
was
the
going to
chat,
say
you
something
know.
like that. Knew Adam was going to say that. Something like that. Adam.
yeah. So, yeah. You don't have to wait for the games to download on Stadia. It streams straight away. Once you purchase the game, and because they just come from a server straight onto your whatever device you're using it on, from what I recall from the press conference that I saw when it first got announced. But yeah, and I mean that's the other thing you have to take into context as well is, yeah, these gaming consoles are going to have a lot better download speed and upload speed, but you are still going to have to download those games, even on PC. You're still going to have to download those games, which again, you can't, no matter how much power you put into these gaming consoles, it's down to your internet, as we all know. And I don't think that'll ever change when it comes to gaming PCs. I don't know if you guys will ever think that gaming will go to a streaming way where you just stream your games instead of downloading them. But I can't see it happening anytime soon on the Series X or the PS5.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can still stream on Xbox and you can stream on PlayStation, but I think
It's just not to the same quality, and you don't have the same control. Yeah, right there.
The quality's lower, and like the controls. Like here, I've got so much control on what displays on the screen, where it displays, overlays, chat, followers, literally everything, music, the lot. Whereas on Xbox, it's literally you click go and it streams, and that's it. That's all it'll do. So yeah, it's kind of limited in that respect.
But yeah, so it's interesting because I mean, obviously, yeah, I don't know many people that are stupid enough to go out and spend £600 on a console. I mean, yeah, I'll admit I've got my pre-order on a Series X, but you know, for me, it's not just the game inside of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff is on there as well, isn't there? I guess.
Like I know my Netflix and all that will stream at true 4K. I know it's not a big point, but you know it's what's suitable for the lifestyle that you're in, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just an extra little bonus, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gonna throw this out while we've got a second. I've just switched the stream to Uno as well, just in the background, so that you guys have got something to watch.
I'm in that game.
Yeah. PC
as well. Oops. Alright, sorry, carry on. Just so people don't get confused what's going on, I think I've messed it up big time and showing something else on the screen.
Yeah, also Ryan, I completely forgot to ask. With lockdown, how's it? Are you still driving during lockdown?
I've won.
Well, not really at the moment, to be honest. I've not really been out. Like, I've been out just to keep it running, to keep the car going and that. But yeah, I've not really had anywhere I've needed to go particularly. So.
What about you, Alex? I'm guessing we work you are now, but when you're on lockdown.
Well, yeah. When obviously, because I live with my grandparents, so I was doing the shopping.
Okay.
So I was still running about. So it's.
Wow.
It's all normal to me, and like, obviously I was working at the other job I do, and
There we go. Yeah.
So and obviously I'm travelling to work and everything, so still driving about, and it's amazing to see. It's really good because you can go on the fucking straight bits. You can just go meow, fucking zoom it like.
How fast were you going,
fucking
Alex? Just while we're on stream and it's live. Just while we're on stream and we're live. How fast were you going, Alex?
How fast was it going? Well, you know me. I'm a good boy. 60.
At least
I'm a
6.
good boy.
At least 69 mile an hour on
At
the
least
motorway.
69. That's a good number.
You always stay at 69 on the motorway. Never go a single mile an hour over.
Also, guys, we just had. What was I say? Has any of you guys watched any shows during lockdown? If so, I'd love suggestions.
Tiger King.
Read out from chat.
What have I been watching? I've been watching a lot of stuff.
Well.
I tell you what I did watch that came out during lockdown was the best British hotel chain. It was about Best Western. 3 episodes, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was on Channel 4.
Oh, okay. What was it, like a documentary?
Yeah, all about Best Western and stuff. And it was actually really entertaining. There was some really funny stuff on it. I mean, one of the episodes you got to see donkeys shitting all over a hotel.
Oh, lovely.
So,
Just what you want to
I mean,
watch on a Saturday night.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a bit out there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's only 3 episodes because they stopped recording because of COVID-19 because a lot of hotels have gone bust and party about hotel chains.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so but that's about it. I mean, I've been watching The Mandolin on Disney Plus. I'm on the 3rd episode of that. That's pretty good.
What's that?
It's basically it's a spin-off from Star Wars. It's about Boba Fett.
Oh, I think I heard about this a while ago.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I at first I thought I
Why
wouldn't
would
be
you
too
do
good
that?
into it, but yeah, it was quite interesting to be fair. I think there's about 2 seasons out, so I'm
Okay.
working my way through them. Yeah. Any of you lot been watching it?
Not really. Just watch a lot of movies, I guess. I'm a big movie fan over TV shows, I guess. So yeah, spending a lot of time on Netflix. A lot of time.
What movies you been watching?
Gaming as well. Movies. Oh, everything. Anything, everything. I watched. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Obviously they made Jurassic World in 2015, I think. But obviously they made a new one, Jurassic World Fallen.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
World,
Fallen Island.
Fallen Island. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. They made
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's
A
good
couple
that.
years ago, so I watched that the other day.
Is that on
definitely watch.
Netflix or?
It is.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
new on Netflix. It wasn't
Wow.
straight away, but it is now. So that's
I
definitely.
didn't realise it was on.
Oh, why are you doing like that?
What about you, Paul? What have you been watching?
Quite a bit of Ready Abroad. Love a bit of that.
Oh, yeah.
We've been watching that
Yeah.
a little bit, haven't we? That's good.
What's happening here? Oh,
What is happening? Oh,
Sorry, mate, interrupting your game of Uno.
no,
yeah, sorry.
Joining, it's so confusing.
What
Started
about
watching
you,
a bit of Breaking Bad. That were alright.
You watching Breaking Bad? You know, you would not put me down as a Breaking Bad person.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, mate, yeah. What about you, Al?
I've been watching the Tiger King.
Oh, you've not have your best watch that. I can't
Yeah.
watch it.
What's that? Fucking funny.
I
Because
genuinely
I've won
couldn't
this
watch
game.
it.
You've won this game. Okay.
What else? What else have I watched? I haven't watched it, but I know Adam's watching the chat. And he said Parks and Recreation. It's got Chris Pratt in it. It's on Amazon Prime. Apparently, it's fucking hilarious. I need to give that a watch. It's five episodes. Apparently, it's brilliant. I'll give it a watch. And just films, really. Watched all the Star Wars films.
Yeah, they're always a good go-to, aren't they?
We watched all the old ones and the new ones.
I
Haley's
prefer the old
just
ones.
come out with
Yeah, the
Parks
old
and
ones are the
Recreations
best.
is amazing.
There we
Back
go.
Alex up.
There we go.
And have you played any new games during lockdown as well? Yeah, that's a good
Hey.
I played the
Uno.
new Star Wars game.
Yeah, we've got big on Uno and Ark as well. I've literally fell in love with Ark this past couple of weeks.
Me
Never
and
Yeah,
Paul
yeah,
have
just
been.
funny.
big.
What have we been
big
playing,
game.
Paul?
A Way Out.
A Way Out, yeah. Xbox exclusive right there as well.
Oh yeah.
It's a beautiful game.
It's more of a story game. I think we can definitely say that, but it's all right, isn't it? It's
Did I play that with
Uh,
you once? I don't remember. I feel like I did, but I don't really remember.
Me and
the
you
game.
tried to play it, but we couldn't do it because of Game Pass. It wouldn't work properly.
Oh yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
it keen.
I remember.
But yes,
You
we've been
boys.
playing that. Obviously you two are now in teams on Rocket League because you are absolute sweats. So
Well, he is. I'm not.
No, Paul's not.
I thought you were.
Well, do you want to take this one, Paul?
Um. Nah, I'm alright. I'm not in a team for. I left for other reasons.
Is it because you're too good? So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go with
Definitely
that.
not. Definitely not.
I've just realised. I've just spread in the chat.
Oh.
Adam saying that I've been playing some Fortnite. Downloaded Fortnite again, and me and
God.
Adam have been playing.
Again.
First game in, we won 2 games on the bounce. Fucking lit.
Ooh. Big win.
There's skill-based matchmaking now, isn't there? So
Oh, is there?
you'll be getting all them bots.
Oh, so that means if I go on Fortnite, I'll actually make it past the first wave. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't think I can play Fortnite anymore. I don't know. It's good, but it's not my kind of game. I don't think.
We are too good, Adam.
To be fair, Ryan, talking about unis as well, jumping back to that earlier, what's happening with your other family members that are currently at uni?
I'd love to know. Well, to be honest, I don't think anybody knows. It's all kind of up in the air at the minute.
Has she heard anything about going back or?
No, not really. I think, well, obviously she's having to move out of her accommodation, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, is she still at her accommodation then?
Well, no, she's here. Like she's brought most of
Right.
her stuff here, but like her tenancy ends, so
Oh,
she's
right,
got to
okay.
sort all that out and get
Okay.
into
So
the new place.
she had to pay for it the whole time.
Yeah. She has.
Really?
Yep.
Even
That's
with
shit.
COVID? That is
That's
yeah,
awful.
questionable.
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Disgusting.
But so that's that, and obviously in terms of going back in September. Oh, I just missed my go. Oops. In terms of going back in September, I'm not sure. I think they're talking of some of it being online. But yeah, they're still kind of a bit sketchy on how they're going to run it and how it's going to turn out. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
But yeah, I know. I mean, on the whole job front as well. I mean, I was talking to Matt today, who's obviously your brother Alex and a good friend of ours. He's currently job searching at the moment, and I know, other people in the chat in Pi as well. It's been a very hard time to find jobs with what's been going off, and I think a lot of us that are still in his jobs are extremely lucky to be in his jobs, and I wouldn't like to be in the position of trying to find a job right now.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
There's
it's
a lot of people that will
definitely
be doing it.
difficult.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, a lot of like Frankie and Benny's, they've just shut 100 and odd shops. There's I think Victoria's Secrets, they're shutting all their shops in the UK pretty much.
All the shops, all the restaurants,
Yeah.
all stuff like that. It's all down, isn't it? So.
But yeah, I can't imagine what it'd be like to try and find a job right now.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be in
So
that position.
fair play to all of you that are going out right now.
Yeah.
Definitely
Well, you're
fair
double.
play to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you. Big gains. It's so hard to concentrate on this and to talk. Because I need to listen
To
to
be
you
fair,
guys so I
saying,
know what the conversation's going about.
talking about jobs and everything, obviously I've had to go through buying a new car through lockdown, haven't I? Which has been an experience in itself. The amount of trips and
It's an experience in itself anyway, let's be honest.
yeah, it really is. Honestly, if you saw some of the cars I'd seen buying a second-hand car, I don't know how they're still roadworthy, but
Funny
you know,
game.
they put tax on them. They put tax on them somehow. Yeah, that's just been an amazing search.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, what was that?
That was the whale yawning in the other side of the room.
You're gonna get slapped for that, aren't you?
So professional, this. This is so
Come on,
professionally done.
pull his headset off. Go on, do it, I dare you.
Either getting slapped.
Yeah, a little bit. Right, what
Yeah.
else have we got to talk about? That's all our topics in it for tonight?
Yeah,
There's
I
no
mean,
more topic.
we are hopefully in the next few weeks going to try and meet up. So we might do something live for you all. Might try and get something recorded while we're all together.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. I'm hoping we
And
could
it's
try,
not like that.
we could try doing it on video as well next time. I think I might be able to get it. I think we should do a test first. We should be able to get a video thing going. The same way
Yes.
we're doing this. We could try that rather than having us playing Uno in the background.
But yeah, so yeah, just let us know what you want us to do. I mean, I definitely want to take these guys to experience chocolate milk from France. That is something I would love to do because it is the best. Honestly, it's worth the trip.
But we definitely need support from you guys and ideas from you guys as well as an audience. So just let us know. Get in contact in any way you can. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I'm sure Alex will have some stuff to add.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't like.
I think the more people we get in, we just have our own ideas. Like we get Alex involved, get all of us involved, and anybody else we could think of as well. I'm hoping to get Matt and Corey involved somehow as well. And yeah, I think we'll call it there for tonight. And it's good to have a chat with all of you. And please follow us, subscribe on YouTube, notifications. Let us know your ideas and thoughts. And yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a nice little chat.
And
It's good to get Alex and Paul in as well, like from last week. It's just us two, but nice to get a few of us in.
I've enjoyed my cup of tea.
That's the important thing.
Exactly, that's what we're here for, to enjoy a cup of tea. And if any of you guys turn around and go, you haven't had a cup of tea,
Well, I don't drink tea, so I can safely say I haven't. But I could probably say Mum's had about 3 in the time period that we've had this. So, that's fine.
Fair play. But yeah, so next week we will definitely key up to date with what's happening. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of stuff happening in the next week we can talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what our topics are for the moment, but I think it's kind of open. But we'll see how things go this next week, and hopefully we'll get some ideas from you guys about what you want to hear about. Yeah, and stuff like that.
Yes. Make sure go subscribe, follow, do everything. Get on all the social medias.
All of it. Plug. Definitely.
Yeah.
Email us as well. I'm going to try and put the email up on our Twitch channel and YouTube channel as well. But for those of you listening now, it's the 4squares@gmail.com. And the 4 is the number 4, not the word. Yeah, so we already had
Love
that
how you
mistake
have to
already.
make that point.
Yeah, so get in contact. Thanks for listening, and stay safe.
Aye.
Peace out.
Ta-ra.